A number of women, including you, as the interim replacement for Charlie Rose on PBS, have taken over positions of men who were fired over sexual abuse accusations. Are you surprised at the number of men in media who have been implicated? Of course I'm surprised, especially when it's people you know and you've worked with, and then this kind of thing comes to light. But on the other hand, the patriarchy has dominated for thousands of years, and people see it as their God-given right. It's not just sexual harassment or abuse or all the other sexual issues, it's everything. According to the IMF, when women are equally represented in all aspects of economy and business, it can cause national GDP-S to rise rapidly. In the United States, having equal numbers of women in the workforce would raise America's GDP by 5 percentage points. In India, by 27 percentage points. If people can't be persuaded to see a woman's right to control her own body as a moral issue, it's most definitely an economic one. There has been some hand-wringing about the fired men, that a mass of male talent is departing the industry. Do you agree? That pisses me off. These talented men are suppressing talented women. You cannot put a figure on the number of young women who have been squelched or run out of Dodge because they haven't been able to tolerate it. What was it like studying how other cultures deal with sex for sex and love around the world while there's this crisis back in the United States? I set out to talk to people about their sense of empowerment, of agency over their own bodies, feelings, futures, marriages, their ability to be free in their own society, how much control they have over their sexuality. It just so happens that it dovetailed with this evidence that many people in the West have less control over that than we would like to imagine. I have to admit, watching it felt like a departure from the reporting we've seen from you in the past. In asking people questions about sex, you inadvertently kind of reveal what you think about sex. I hope people will not be shocked. One thing I found, everywhere we went, everybody had the same questions. You realize that we're all the same. You've been at CNN for 35 years. What has it been like for you, as one of the primary voices of the network, having President Trump make it a target? Of course I'm outraged, but I don't take it personally. I think it's just a silly distraction. But do I think that we're in trouble? Not one iota. The criticism would be that CNN benefits from the attention. Well, that might have been true in the early days, but I don't think anybody benefits from this kind of sustained assault. It's not just damaging to a network, it's damaging to civil society and to the United States democracy, which is based on knowing the difference between truth and lies. Truth leads to democracy, lies lead to dictatorship, and this is where I think people, whether it's the president or people around him, are not fully aware of the real impact of what they're saying. It drives wedges between people, and if anything, these recent elections have told us that the population has become so polarized that people can be affected by lies that are peddled and empty promises that are made, tribalistic policies that are rammed down people's throats, and you have to be really careful. Do you think that there are ways journalists could be making a better effort to build credibility? One of the big issues is that because of money, so much journalism is being cut back, not necessarily at the big operations, but in local markets, where it really counts. You have national or international news organizations parachuting into the middle of the country for a few hours, but you don't have as much of that great indigenous local reporting that you used to have. That's what harms the country, because that's where you get the real story.